So we're gonna go through our 5 biggest things that we don't like about the van.
That's not this video.
Which one is this?
This is all the problems we've had with our Airstream.
We don't want to go through all the problems, do we? Can you guys hear that airplane? Oh, shit.
Oh.
Right when we start filming, our dogs just
Freak out.
Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. You may have noticed that we've changed the name to Darcy and Tess. We just thought that was more clear on who we are, blah blah blah, instead of the Vanti Social Club.
Our dog's in the fire pit.
Smalls, get out of the fire
There's
pit.
no fire, it's just really dirty, like ash. We're here to talk Sprocket! Blooper reel right here, this thing.
Sprocket, drop.
We're never gonna get through this video. We are here to talk about all the issues we've had with the Airstream Rangeline. So far, we're expecting more just with how poor the quality control and everything's been with these units.
We're gonna go through all the problems that we've dealt with Airstream and with ourselves and what we've had with the van. So far, there's still a couple problems existing. So what was problem number 1?
In one of our very first videos, we went into the States for our first time with the Rangeline, and we were in which city?
Missoula, Montana.
Missoula, and the hose blew off our Timberline water heater unit and sprayed water all over the passenger side of the floor. We had a leak. We had to go to Elwell, we had to go to the makers of the Timberline. I think it's Elwell. I think that's how you say it. And they're in Washougal.
Which is close to Portland, Washington.
500 miles out of our way. If you watch the video, It's like a whole thing.
Is it Portland, Oregon?
Where did you say?
Portland, Washington.
It's Portland, Oregon. Darcy's
Close
crazy.
to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, so we have a whole, it was in our trip video. If you haven't seen that, it might be worth watching just to see how it was fixed and stuff like that.
I'll link it right here. So issue number 2.
Our solar was not charging when we were driving. Like, we had no battery left by the end of the night after using everything, and then the next day it just wouldn't charge. We'd drive all day long and just zero charging. It went to the RV dealer that we purchased this at in Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. It was embarrassing. They're fixed because it was 2 male connectors.
So what happened is that the factory installed 2 male connectors and you couldn't connect them. What the dealership did was just push the clip in even harder, which actually pushed one of the wires out, disconnecting it even further. And they said it was fixed, and it wasn't actually fixed. And we wasted about 4 hours sitting at the dealership waiting for them.
Yeah, so we will link that video too. Darcy put in how to fix it if you want to do it yourself instead of taking it to the dealer, because it is just a connector, needs to be changed.
That's how you fix the engine not charging the battery in the coach. Another issue was that the solar panels were prioritized to charge the battery for the vehicle rather than the battery for the house. So even if we were in the sun all day, not using much power, it would still deplete rather rapidly, and that was a recall sent out by Airstream that they did fix, but it's just kind of a weird thing that they did.
Yeah, it's just kind of wired backwards to what you would assume they do, but a lot of stuff in here was originally. One
of the issues that I noticed right away with the van when I was actually looking at it was that the galley plug in the kitchen was not powered when the inverter was on. That was something I brought up as we were purchasing it because I wanted that plug-in specifically to work. That's where we hook up the cooktop to, and I didn't want to have to start the generator or have it plugged in every time we wanted to fire up a bowl of coffee or a pot of soup. So that was something that I put on the pre-inspection that we do at the dealership, and so they rewired our galley plug to work for us with the inverter on.
Yeah, and then we had taken it to the dealership to have some paint chips and stuff fixed, and a drawer wouldn't close properly, which just little minor things that they fixed, no problem. They actually I cannot focus.
There's so much. You dogs.
We had it wired so the galley plug would work just off the inverter and not have to run the generator and all that. And then the dealership we purchased this at, they unwired that, and it took them like 3 hours to do. And they broke the plug where the microwave goes in. They cracked that. So it was just kind of embarrassing on their part again.
Another issue we had was that where all the glycol lines and the electrical lines come from underneath, kind of right behind where Tess is sitting on the passenger rear side of the vehicle, where all the lines come up, there was a huge hole. Like you could pretty much fit your whole entire fist through it. And that was from factory. And that passed the pre-inspection and everything, and they didn't fill it. It's kind of embarrassing. But so that is one thing to keep an eye out and look for, and fill it yourself if you have to.
It's just spray foam underneath. And the reason I noticed it was I was cleaning the floor back there and I could see daylight coming through one of the vents. So it I thought it was weird.
Another issue we have is that Airstream decided to use all these like pretty cool at first window frames. And then you find out that they don't actually stick very well or hold very well, and they just keep falling off constantly. They have this weird Velcro behind it. It doesn't quite fit the window frame and the window itself. It's kind of janky.
Yeah, we'll definitely show you that because one of our window frames is currently falling off. Another thing was the window coverings that were included. They're little blackout window coverings that roll down and clip up and stuff like that. And there's one for the door.
The main sliding door.
This big window here above me. And I think every single van that came out, it's the wrong size. People are still waiting on getting the correct one. We just actually got ours.
One day, it was a nice dry day, and Tess was having a shower, and I'm sitting here just like I am right now. And I noticed that there was water coming out of the electrical plug that is underneath the passenger side here right in front of the tire. I was like, what the hell is that? So we tested our kitchen sink, we tested the water, and we found out that there was in fact a shower leak. Apparently it was a nightmare to fix. Somehow they got it all back together, but they did strip one screw on the nice like metal Airstream stuff that's kind of like falling out now, which is a disappointment. The leak is fixed, I hope.
Yeah, we'll show you that panel where it's kind of falling off, and there are some cracks in the shower that were there when we bought it. I put some clear caulking over it just to keep the water out, and then there is some gaps in the caulking in there that I did fill as well. Just from the factory. I mean, it could have been done better for sure. I was driving down a gravel road, but I wasn't going super fast or anything. Darcy was in his truck ahead of me, and I heard this weird noise. It's almost like a rock ricocheting, and I was like, I don't know what that was because I wasn't right beside him or anything. They're not close to any vehicles. And then we were taking it into the dealership because we were having generator issues. I closed the driver's door when I got out, and the side panel behind it flipped out, and I was like, oh, so that's what popped off. And there is no insulation behind it. It's just a gaping hole into the side of the shower wall with some wires and stuff. So
because these are passenger vans when they first get them, and they put plexiglass all down the sides of each side, that one must not have been installed properly, or they must have taken it off at some point to fix it and not installed it properly, because there was some nasty goop that they used rather than like professional window installing whatever. So that window fell off, and then they actually had to bring it to a window shop and get it reinstalled on their dime. Everything's been on their dime.
Yeah, it's all warranty work, and I mean, it sounds like we're complaining a lot, but it was in the shop for 7 months. That's 7 months we were making payments on this van that's not cheap, and we couldn't use it. Like, we're kind of like beta testers and didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, it's a very expensive beta test for this van. Another issue that we had was the generator error issue, and that was probably the worst one. It's funny because I actually looked into it myself before they looked at it. I just kind of looked at the electrical drawings, and I was like, I feel like it's the generator module board behind all the panels and stuff. And, you know, they're just like, yeah, whatever. So anyways, they replaced the inverter. They reprogrammed it like 17 times, checked all the wiring. They dicked around. They replaced all of our tank level transmitters because that was another Airstream fix. And none of that worked. And then finally they changed that generator module board, and it worked. So I don't know, that was a nightmare because they've struggled with that. I'm not just saying I'm right, but I did say that like way back because I felt like that was the issue, and it was, and it took them, that was the longest issue. And then all the other issues they worked on while trying to solve that issue for 7 months.
Yeah, 7 months. And we had a really good tech. Like, we didn't take it to the Airstream dealer we bought it at because we had too many issues with them, and just their quality of work is embarrassing. So we took it 8 hours out of our way to another dealership, and there was a really good tech there. So we were lucky that he worked so well with us and kept us in the loop of everything that was happening.
Hell yeah, brother. The generator issue and the tank level issue were kind of mixed together.
The tank levels
kinda.
wouldn't read. Like they'd always say either empty or random numbers that they weren't at.
But they seem to work a little better now.
The first week we got our van, it was cold. It was in April and still snowy in Canada in April. And our Timberline screen in the middle of the night, every single night, would light up and not turn off until you got your butt out of bed and went over there and tapped it. That woke me up because it's super bright. Like it would go full brightness and you're immediately awake and gotta haul your ass over there. Did it wake you up?
No, because I sleep closer to the bathroom, like closer to the front of the vehicle. So the way that the wall sits is close enough to my head that I don't see any of those displays.
So on that screen, you get contact info for the Timberline system manufacturers. I think it's Elwell. I emailed one of the guys there and they said just update it. We didn't want to take it to our dealer and do all that. So when the Timberline blew the hose, we actually got them to update that system and it fixed that issue.
Yeah, and the guys at Timberline or Elwell or whatever it's called are awesome. If you're in that area, which is Portland, Oregon, which is Washougal, those guys are awesome RV techs. They got us in and out of there real quick. This is like one of the most famous issues is that the light outside on that would light up like your sewer dump area is always on, or it always is intermittent, on, off, blah, 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 no control. You can't hit the button, it doesn't work. Some people think it's a motion light, but you're wrong. It's just a terrible light.
Yeah, it's just awful.
It's not a motion light. Some people have been saying that, and you guys are nuts.
If it gets any moisture in it at all, it's going to turn on and not turn off. We actually cut the wires to it.
And now we're going to do it again.
They rewired it, and we just got our van here recently. This is our first trip with it since everything's been fixed, and it's doing it. So we have Gorilla Tape over it. We're trying to like stealth camp a little bit sometimes, and it's like you have this giant LED lamp on the side of your van.
Another minor issue is that the back screen vents, the back screen magnets that kind of hold the back rear door flap were all bent out of shape, and they didn't actually like make a good connection. So we got that fixed as well.
I'm assuming they were folded up somewhere when it was shipped, and they were just kind of were literally bent out of shape.
There was a little bug in the generator that would cause a high temperature alarm even when you haven't even run it yet. Like we literally hadn't even turned it on yet for the first time, and it was already doing that. That's fixed with updates.
We're in a forum on Facebook, and I see some people still having that issue. Just get it updated.
A couple things that aren't really issues that are just kind of annoying. The Timberline clicks like super loud. It's like tick, 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 tick. And in our videos, we always complain about it. It's a huge complaint on all the forums and stuff. And if I was going to buy one of these and I watched this video, I would say run the heater and see if you can bear that sound. Maybe sit in there for like an hour and just see if it goes away.
If you're in a state where you don't need the heater, that's sweet and you won't care, but
ours runs sometimes all night. Another annoying thing is that the bathroom has no storage for anything. It's just a big hole with a toilet and a weird sink.
Yeah, they had so much room in the shower, like behind the door where the door slides and stuff. There's so much room, it just flexes out and there's nothing there.
Yeah, they dropped the ball big time on the bathroom situation.
Yeah, the sink, it folds out from the wall, super awkward.
It's like a Murphy bed, but a sink.
Yeah, and then I noticed I'm pretty tall, I'm 5'9", but when I'm washing my face, all the water runs down your arms because the sink's so high up. It's just awkward, I don't know. Also, the shower head in there drips, like there's a little button.
That's just ours though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was everyone's.
I don't think it's everyone's. But
Oh, well, you might notice, or else we're just the super unlucky people that get all the issues.
We are very unlucky.
But yeah, our shower head, like there's a button to click it off, like so you can conserve water when it's turned on to your temperature. It still drips out, it just never stops.
So we forgot to add this in. It's because it was a big major problem, is that the inverter button wouldn't work. So you have this like digital screen, and when you hit the turn on button for the inverter, it would not turn on, and you'd have to manually walk out behind your van, disconnect the coach battery, turn it back on, and then it would last for about 3 hours. In those 3 hours, you had control, but it had this weird bug where it would time out, and then you lose all your control. You have to go reset it on and off again. I don't know how they fixed that. It was fixed when all this other crap, we got updates. We got a new inverter, new boards and stuff, and then now it works. It seems to work really good.
And I mean, it's not a huge issue walking back. You wouldn't think, but it's the middle of the night or something, and it's just awful. Or it's pouring rain. You got to walk out there and do it.
It's not very far away, but it's super annoying because it's like in the very back corner of everything. And it's crazy because in our Winnebago, the battery disconnect was actually like right here, right pretty much at the doorway. So it actually wouldn't have been a problem if they had a different disconnect, but it'd still be annoying. Is that it?
Maybe.
It's a long list. Sorry for the length of this video. Right now, I believe I'm happy with the van. I am not stoked that it took this long.
Yeah.
It was in the shop for 7 months. All in all, we didn't get to use our van for 7 months, and this van payment is huge.
It's not a cheap van. That's where we're more annoyed in the situation. Is it's an expensive Airstream. We switched to Airstream because of the quality, and
Quality.
yeah, we didn't get quality. And even when we had issues and spoke with Airstream when we were in the States stranded, the lady was so rude. I can't believe how awful she was to us. And
Yeah, Bethany at Airstream, you suck.
I wasn't gonna call you out, Bethany, but Darcy's still mad.
I'm still mad.
Oh, it was kind of funny. We called her twice because people kept telling us, call her, she'll help, or call this people, they'll help you. So we called, and then we got a number from, I think it was the third-party warranty people, and they're like, call this number, they will help you. No questions asked. And it was a different number, so we call it, still forwarded to Bethany.
Yeah, it was so stupid. It was just like, oh, you're in the States? Call Airstream direct. And you're like, all right, bro, it's not helping.
Yeah. Bethany's the only one working there answering every phone, so bless her. Maybe she was getting all the calls from all these Airstream issues. I don't know, but if you're thinking of buying an Airstream Rangeline, join the Facebook forums. Just Google Airstream Rangeline forum, you'll find them, and I would read every post in there. The 2024s don't seem to have as many issues from what we've heard. We don't have one. We have the 2023, so we can't really say for sure. And I mean, everyone not having issues isn't posting on there either.
There is still a lot of similarities between the 2024 and the 2023
Yeah.
on a lot of the nuisances and stuff like that. It seems like they might have got a few of the issues figured out. Definitely not.
Yeah, they're still having a learning curve, I guess. It's a brand new van for them, but still they should have tested it and done quality control before releasing them.
Airstream, if you watch this, send us a new van. As I was saying before, right now we're happy with the van. Everything's working great. There's a couple little things, like the window covers still fall off, which is weird. And then there's some issues with Dodge and their speed control, which is weird. But all in all, we've done 2 weeks right now in everywhere from -5 to about +25. And it's been flawless.
Yeah.
Other than just like the weird things that we've already said that we're used to already, like the weird bathroom.
Yeah, when the van works, it's amazing, but our experience has been that it hasn't worked a lot.
Yeah, so we're still not holding our breath and we're still not confident in it, but we're in the middle of the California desert right now, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of getting one,
Do your research.
do your research. There are a lot of other vans out there. They all seem to suck.
Yeah, it's
So-
definitely a quality issue lately on everything.
If you like this video, let us know in the comments. If you've had other Airstreams or Airstream issues, let us know. Okay, bye.
Bye. Is that it?
Another weird ass thing that sucks is their friggin' breather line is right here and it just dumps water in instead of out of the chassis like every other one.
Everybody in. Good job.